Niggas really weird, bro. They got when I get to snapping like doo-wah, really got the juice like Tupac. Shorty got a strong jaw, might chew rock. Got me coming out the blue like new cop. I've been rocking by myself, I'm through. Jump off the porch, I flew. Niggas say I'm too sick, I chew. Stop playing with me.
Welcome back to another pack of the Shack and the Lack. It's the Mark with a little bit of lark in the dark. We're getting dark with the next quest we're doing here. It is the end of the Death Master. Deathlin's still dead. Not Deathlin. Well, Deathlin. Well, I spoiled. Nellum is still dead. We're gonna go get her back. And one thing that we do also need to get back is relationships, and that's what we're going to be talking about on the podcast today. I think we'll just do the Deathlim class. Oh my god, I did it again. We'll just do the Nellum quest. This time, take you from Twilight, where we collect. I believe it's some kind of juice, some fuel for the astral projector, and we'll go to the realm in between. Oh yeah, no, we're collecting a bell. Yeah, we get the bell, and then we go to the realm in between that we went to in the first episode to awaken. And so we'll awaken Nellum, and then she'll become a Death Master and all that, and we'll go fight that. Oh shit, hit my desk. We'll go fight that boss, that evil demon devil skeleton summoner motherfucker in the next part. So I hope you guys are all ready. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, my wonderful sultry voice, and the way I connect things, the analogies, the real life connection, because I know you love to ignore real life, so do I. But we have to a little bit, slightly, delve into the things that we don't want to see. Or hear about. And I feel like this is a good platform to do it because, look at these graphics. They look amazing. We have Leaflet and Smugglana here, if I didn't mention before. Two of my favorite VTubers, two of the least racist VTubers. And the main character here is supposed to be Asmongold. I don't know if it really phrase right. I may have to change the hair and eyes a little bit. But anyways. On to the topics of today. You probably noticed the title of the podcast is a little dark, a little spooky, right? The death of relationships. But guys, it is what's happening here. It is what's happening to most people here. And, we need to wake up and realize that we are better together and together we're better. We may be able to survive now, but I feel like the only reason why is because we are met with these lackluster alternatives, and nobody really knows. I mean, I guess nobody. Nobody that I've met, or especially not me. Nobody really knows what a valuable, healthy relationship looks like. And I'm not just talking about girl guy come together. We're not talking about that. We're talking about relationships in general. Family, friends, all that. A lot of people really don't know how even one healthy relationship looks. Or if they do, they don't know why. Like what are the components of that? Like a lot of people that make smoothies, they know what goes into a smoothie. They know to get this smoothie right, I need the right balance of milk and fruit and protein, avocado, whatever we're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like you know how to make the right jelly, whatever you want to put in there. You have your smoothie recipe or whatever. But if you talk to somebody with a good relationship, oftentimes they're gonna be like, "Oh no, I just follow what the other person says." They're like, I just be kind of vibing, dog. And naturally, this is how. We never really had to think about this too much. But like I said, because of the plethora of options we have for, choosing people, and the plethora of just abilities we've gained, skills we've gained through these phones, and how we've made everything so much more convenient. We've developed our ease of access. It's led us all to believe that this lackadaisical nature of life and relationships is just naturally meant to aid us and only us, and there is only one person to aid in this whole area, and it's me, and I shouldn't have to think about my relationship because all these other things in the world think for me already. So I don't need to think about this other person. And this mindset is something that really just needs to die, really just needs to be destroyed, because honestly, guys, if you think you can go through your whole life, your entire existence, your entire time on this earth, without a care or concern for anyone else's well-being besides your own, it will be a very not lonely life, but a very blinded life to the reality of how good it could be if you work for something outside of yourself. I realize a lot of masculine guys already really get this, but I'm noticing, or at least I notice, the way school and life brings you up doesn't really teach you that. It doesn't really teach you to, actively have your own individualistic mindset and use that to help the group. They just say, fuck all that individualistic shit. Just help the group. And sometimes if you look good enough, that's all you need to do. That is you helping the group. Fantastic. Congratulations, you have helped the group by existing. Great job, person. And this is why a lot of the times I feel like I got more of like a feminine nature or mindset to me. Not only because I was born tall and black and attractive, which naturally brings me into the more feminine mindset of like, I can get anybody else, or I have 1,000 of millions of options or whatnot. But it also puts me into the hypergamy mindset. Not the hypergamy mindset, but puts me at the top of the hypergamy, so I can really witness and see what's going on under the hood, if you will, on the darker side of attraction, because a lot of things, beings, creatures do desire my presence. And I know I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. The reason why, guys, um, is because just the natural stature of people who want you for the whole distraction economy. Because when you reach this state, you realize not everybody just wants you because you are attracted to them. You know what I mean, right? It's sort of like a hive mind of hypergamy, because once you reach a certain level, it sort of just exponentially grows, or like falls off a cliff, really, and now like everybody wants you because some girl wants you really bad, and then they're all vibing off of that one girl or guy or person's feel, and they just feel that, and then once you embody that and feel that, people are gonna know that you have all these options, and it just makes everything so possessive, and they want to not only have your attention but like devour it and change you in some way. So to give an example of this, I'll tell a little story of what happened yesterday. And this is all perception of me. I'm just gonna give you the facts here, and let you guys decide on what really happened. But I'm on my walks. I'm on my afternoon. This was actually pretty late in the day of a walk. I just had finished raiding, so I'm out there just grooving, vibing, got my little speaker on, and just walking down the street. I have a calm song on now because I finished a little running section, and I was just chilling out along the stoplight or whatever. Yeah, stoplight. I was having a hard time figuring out what the hell those things are called. But anyways, stoplight changes, and then it's time for me to walk. So I do my little strut across the street, crossing it, and then I hear somebody's car speakers. It's just strange because I usually don't hear those because my speakers, it's pretty loud. But I was playing a quiet song. I was just cooling down. So I hear somebody's car speakers, and I automatically start like just walking in beat with the Fetty Wap song, and I'm like, oh, this is a little weird. But I didn't really do anything. I was just kind of walking along. And then The guy just passes by in the car. Light turns red. I get across the street, and as he's rolling by, he just screams out the window, "Lame!" and then rides off. And I'm like, could have been at me, could have been at anyone. I don't know. All I know is I like vibing outside. I like doing my thing. I like having a good time, and who cares really what anybody says about it? I will tell you. I don't know if the neighborhood. Actually, you know what? It's not even that, because when I was living in a bunch of different states, people still did this. But yeah, whenever I'm walking outside, I will tell you, I do get many people honking horns. I do get many awkward stares, because I don't just walk. I exercise when I walk. You know what that means? I'm dancer class, man. You should know what that means. I have a speaker with me. You should know what that means. And so, if you want to do that, you want to do that. But I don't do it for the publicity and enjoyment of others. I do it because I've naturally noticed that I want to dance every day. And that hasn't changed for about 4 years or so. I remember a couple years I was in a lot of pain, and I couldn't dance every day. I still dance some days though. And because of that, I just know it's in my soul, in my body. I don't mind who cares or who sees or who's there or who watches or whatever. It's kind of like this shit with the gaming. It's like something that I can see myself doing and having fun in, and just turning my mind off and grinding in for a long time. And so when you have all of these quote unquote wonderful watching eyes on you, you notice that the attention economy that every girl seeks or quote unquote has is just so fake. All of these eyes reaching on you really aren't there to help you. And it's the same thing with women. That's why they must be so discerning and so, apprehensive when we try to go approach them in public. And that's why some of them have to take the anger route when they get rejected, or when they have to reject people, because the world is so dangerous that you don't know who's going to take that no for an answer or not. And especially nowadays, you're supposed to take no for an answer, quote unquote, because the whole Me Too moment happened, and then I feel like we should just be taking no for an answer in general. But some girls are like, no, but you really should go in if you're really. I'm like, I don't agree with that, man. I don't. It's weird. And there's always an area of gray that guys are just supposed to automatically know how to navigate. And there's things that have been unfair about the dating scene through all ages. But I feel like this one aspect is really, really skewed to the other way now. Because essentially guys, and this is why relationships are dying, essentially guys don't have a choice. We either get in a relationship or get abused, or don't get in a relationship because we're just casually moving through everything, and then we're lonely and sad and jorking our hog the whole day. There's really no middle ground for us there. I mean, it's strange to say. But guys really aren't allowed to advocate for what they want in relationships. I feel like if you want that kind of thing, go get a job, and then advocate for what you want, or go get a really good guy friend and then advocate for what you want from them. But to just start automatically with women not really knowing how to, stake your place in the world, because that's not what the world tells us. It doesn't tell us, hey, figure out what you want and then communicate that to the group and then get it. It doesn't tell us that. It just says communicate how to help the group and then the group's gonna help you. Look, I don't mean to spoil this whole finagle for you. The group does not help you. The group does not help you, and I don't think it ever will. I don't think that's what it's made for. I think to truly have that community, it all comes down to one. One has to glue it together. It's just like any art project you have, you can have all the pieces and things and all the shit, in a little pile in front of you, but until you get that glue, until you get those scissors, until you get all the stuff and you start working it together and pasting it together, then you can say, I have a community. But guess what? One person did that. And it's just like any good partnership. You really have to acknowledge the leader. And a lot of the culture in America is really not teaching young men to be leaders. It's mostly because we're not passing on information in the right way. I think I said this before, I don't know about you, but I've been seeing a lot of really strong and non-corrupt male leaders in a long time. Every time I go for a job interview, it's a woman. Every time I go to call a phone service, it's a woman. Shit, I think even the last 2 or 3 gas stations I went to had female cashiers. And it's like, we go to women for all this authority when they don't want the mental load in the first place. They don't. You think they're happily working these jobs? I'm not happily working any job. But on top of the fact that we're working these bullshit retarded jobs, we have to distract ourselves because, you have to do the whole song and dance every time, and it takes a little bit away from your soul. And although I can say I am super spiritual, miracle, lyrical, fearical, I will concede and say that most girls are high above my level of spirituality, even at this point. Before definitely, but even now, yeah, they are. And a lot of people need to realize that just because these women are so high above us in the spirit, and that they are divine creatures, that they can feel more, they can understand more about us and themselves. That doesn't mean we shouldn't try to understand ourselves and them. I feel like you should try to understand women first, because they're a lot easier than guys, in my opinion. But that's mostly because I've hung around a lot of women. I don't really hang around guys that much. The thing about relationships, people, is it's a two-way street and it takes a lot of work. And the reason why they're dying is because nobody wants to, like, when a relationship goes bad or when something goes sour, nobody wants to take that trip to the third world, the third realm between the dark and the light, the man and the woman, the two pieces of a relationship. Nobody wants to delve into, like the 3 entities. I've mentioned this before. There are 3 entities. There is the you, the them, and then the relationship, the between part of you two. And you gotta realize these are 3 different perspectives. So when you come to a problem, you want to portray and explain your perspective, then you want to try and understand her perspective, and then you take a third step. And what is this third step? You take that third step into the relationship dynamic and decide what is best for that. Sometimes that may be in your interest, sometimes that may be in her interest, but whatever the interest is, it must benefit the actual thing you are here for. People play this life RPG like we're not actually a party battling monsters. People play this life RPG like we're all solo questing by ourselves. So you know what? I'm like, fuck it, we are all solo questing by ourselves. That's what I said. That's why I do the Dragon Quest Dragon Quest 10 solo quest, man. We got our 3 characters right here, body, mind, spirit, and the monster. And the problem with this death of relationships and why it must die is so we can discover ourselves, and so we can discover the ourselves part of it, because I think that's the real thing, at least for guys. I know me, whenever I get into a good relationship, I kind of just focus on them. I really don't take stock of how I'm feeling, or where my direction is going, or what my agency is to aid or, negatively affect the situation. Just kind of thinking in the now. We're in the instant gratification age. And a lot of what builds and helps relationships form and stay together, it's just like you and your relationship with YouTube. It's what you do on the in-betweens. It's what you do when you are faced with issues, problems, troubles, corruptions. Um, whether you stay in it or not is truly your connection to the art or the effort of, connection in general. Connection in general. And now it's just seen as such a useless commodity to connect. And I really think this whole social media, and not even just social media, but just texting, kind of ruined that for us. A lot of people say guys just need to talk to girls on the street. I don't think so. If you become an attractive guy and a lot of people want to talk to you, at least in my experience, you just become disgusted with picking up girls on the street, or like just talking to women in public. It's gross a little bit. And it's because of my own, thoughts and feelings around the subject, of course. Um, but naturally, when you have so many options, and then they keep giving you these feckless distractions of themselves, like, hey, can I get your number? Oh, take my Instagram type shit. And I'm the kind of guy that really thinks about things like that. I don't really just say, oh, yeah, it's an Instagram. It's just some way to talk to you. I'm like, no, it's an Instagram. It's a social media app where you have a link to not only my message, but a bunch of other guys' messages and a whole profile attached with their pictures, right? With their pictures right there, so that you can imagine them in all sorts of scenarios and obligations and ways while you talk to them with those pictures. And then you have videos of all this debaucherous bullshit and distractions, along with memes, along with no, 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 no. I feel like that's way different than texting, but just the act of writing down words and sending them to people used to be so much more sacred. And now I feel like I don't even understand what I read when a lot of people send me messages. It's kind of crazy. And it's like, did you spend more than 2.5 seconds writing this? I don't think so. We don't value our words anymore. We don't value the connection of tone connection, or body language, or I don't know, anything like that. When it doesn't come to the concept of the message when it's online. Um, which is quite the opposite. It's more of like a vibe thing when you're offline. But we've started policing things so heavily that these guys can't fucking vibe offline. We cannot fucking vibe. Um, Naturally, this is the result when it feels like our rights are taken away. It's definitely a perception thing. Because we're all still protected under the amendments and the rights and all that bullshit. This is the most free nation. But the thing is, national surveillance, general stupidity, horrible school system, and feminism all combined together to destroy what we thought we knew about connecting with each other. And now we have to relearn it all. And how do we relearn it? We kill ourselves. Yes, that's right, relationship suicide. At least that's my option, because honestly, I never really liked any motherfuckers anyway. I mean, of course, we do love in the moment, but I do realize when people leave, I have to take stock and be noticing when, somebody leaves and defaults right back into the way they were before I came, or, when somebody leaves and they start immediately talking shit about me. I have to just take stock of that, and it's not like I have to vindictively get back at them. I just have to move accordingly, you know? Give that same energy. Golden rule type shit. It feels horrible. It feels horrible to me. Truly, truly, truly. Because I don't like being mean to people. It's the default, I will say. When my mind starts to think of things to say to people, oftentimes, if you ever see me go silent, that's because my mind just thought of some heinous, disgusting shit to say to you. And I was like, I'd rather not, mind. I'm gonna wait until something else pops up. And like most things, you know, if you just hold your tongue, if you just delay your gratification, it will come up to something better. But we can't do that nowadays. Guys are gooning. Girls are finding the first attractive guy they see on Tinder and going to his house. And that's the thing, guys. I feel like the whole approach meta is kind of fucked, because if enough girls keep telling us, you're afraid, you're afraid, you're afraid, then you'd be like, fuck, I guess I am afraid. But for me, it's definitely not that. I get high-key disgusted, if I'm real. High-key, not even low-key disgusted, because I don't know, man. When you are born into this world, you know, you have this desire to connect with someone, and you just know this other person has like had that same connection with like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 other people before you, and are now baking and connecting your value to that. It just doesn't make me feel good, you know? It's a subconscious thing. But yeah, I get grossed out. I get grossed out. You know, and I don't mean to be against this whole promiscuity movement, because I was there. I was in it. I was enjoying it. You know, in the moment, I was enjoying it. But I don't think everybody needs to have a hoe phase, nor do I think this is healthy for society in the first place. And I knew it wasn't, you know, I deep down I knew it wasn't. But sometimes you need that slap in the face to really realize what is going on. Let us slap in the face the subscribe button. And next time we're gonna be doing this wonderful quest where we discover the error of this guy's ways in his Book of the Dead. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked the cool little cutscenes. I will see you later. Be careful out there, okay? You know, don't accept the first thing that comes in your hand, you know? I know a couple things that come in handy that we shouldn't do every day, but that's another topic. Jesus Christ, I almost made it a whole video without talking about masturbating. God damn it!
That's a brand new cool. Stuck with bitches, what the fuck I do? Park the plane with Matt Blonde there too. Thank the gods I'm nothing like you. Like you. It's like you. Pussy like you.